maybe if we could look into the second reading taken from the first letter of Paul to the Corinthians, we find that in every human person, all of us, we have the first Adam, but also the last Adam. The first being from the earth and earthly, and the second being from heaven and therefore heavenly. Look at the conclusion of Paul. We have borne the image of the earthly one. We were born in our natural situation as humans, but we also bear the image of the heavenly one. In fact, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, every human person, not just the baptized, bear in ourselves, in each of ourselves, the image and likeness of God. Now, it's so beautiful how this image and likeness of God was verbalized by Jesus in the gospel. Jesus said, "This is the image of God in you." Look at the gospel, it says, "Love your enemies." How can we love our enemies? Well, do good to them or bless them instead of cursing them. But also, if you cannot bless, you cannot do good, it's so hard to love them, at least pray for them. So this is the hard part, no? The person who strikes you on your cheek, offer the other one as well. The one who takes your cloak, do not even withhold. But look at this. The first part says, let's do to others as you would have them do to you. But, if you love those who love you, if you do good to those who do good to you, if you lend to those who lend you money where you expect a repayment, all three says, what credit is that? What credit is that? What credit is that to you? 3 times, di ba? And it even says, because sinners love those who love them, or sinners do the same. Correct? Sinners lend to sinners. Instead, look at the conclusion this time. If you love your enemies and do good to them, your reward will be great because it will come from God the Most High. For who is God? Our heavenly image, kind to the ungrateful and wicked, merciful. Be merciful. If you want to do good to others as you would want them to do good to you, look at your Father in heaven. He was merciful to you. So be merciful to others as you have experienced the mercy of God to you. And it begins with a thought. Stop judging, stop condemning. Rather, forgive and even give. And what will happen? The measure with which you measure, in return, will be measured out to you. Who will measure it out to you? Who will give back to you the way you have given? God. Stop judging, God will not judge you. Stop condemning, God will not condemn you. Forgive, God will forgive you. So in this kind of behavior, ethical behavior, we have to look not at our enemy, what he did, as much as look at ourselves of who we are. If my enemy did me wrong, and I would like to do him wrong, then we are in the level of earthly images. That is the natural course of things. But we're not just that. We are heavenly. And so if we remember that we're not just of dust, but we have received the Spirit breathed on us on the first human and to every human, God gave us His Spirit. Then let's live by the Spirit. Let's not just have only a life of the flesh, of the earth, of what is quantifiable but temporary. Let's live by the Spirit, by God's Spirit. So the example is beautiful in the first reading. This is not yet the coming of the Christ in Jesus, but it is a time where we could say the pedigree of Jesus, the man, comes from this wonderful experience of his kanununuan. Ang kanyang lolo ng lolo ng lolo ng lolo, he is called the son of David. And who is David? David was pursued. Hinahanap si David para patayin ni Saul kasi sa inggit, sa galit, jealousy and everything. And so he was hunted down. Poor man. 3,000 men, picked men. Hindi yan basta't army. Yan ay SWAT o I don't know, Marine ang lumalaban sa kanya. SAF, Special Action Forces ang ang naghahanap sa kanya. And what? Sabi ni Abishai, nakapasok tayo sa kuta. Bossing, ayan yung kaaway mo, si Saul. Yung hunting for you with 3,000 picked men. Tulog at lahat pinatulog ng Diyos. Nakalagay dyan, The Lord put them into a deep slumber. So, sabi ito rin ni Abishai, God has delivered your enemy. Ito'y kalooban ng Diyos. Hindi ka swerte. Mahal ka ng Diyos. Ayaw kanyang mamatay. So, unahan mo na sila. Ako nang gagawa para sa'yo. With one thrust of the spear, yung ulo ni Saul na yan, didikit yan sa lupa at di na gigising. David, the lolo't kinanununuan ni Jesucristo, do not harm him. Bakit? He is the Lord's anointed. God chose him. God made him king. He did not become king because of an election. God selected him. And therefore, it's not election but selection by God. And with this, sabi niya, let's just get an evidence that we were here. And then, on the opposite side of a mount, he called out to them and said, ano ba kayong klaseng mga bantay? Picked men pa man din kayo, tutulog-tulog kayo. Pero sana, ang Diyos na ang bahala sa inyo. The Lord will reward each man for his justice and for his faithfulness. Though the Lord delivered you into my grasp. Tama. Niloob ng Diyos na pwede kitang patayin. Kasi nalooban ko ang inyong kuta na wala kayong kamalay-malay. Hindi ba ang Diyos ang naglagay sa inyo sa napakalalim na tulog na wala kayong mamamalayan? And yet, yun ang tanong sa akin ng Diyos. Ikaw ba ay first Adam o pwede kang maging second Adam? Ikaw ba just earthly in your decisions or you can be heavenly in your decisions? Hindi pa ho Kristiyano si David, Hindi ho siya binyagan. Pero meron siyang takot sa Diyos. Kilala niya kung sino ang makapangyarihan. At hindi niya kukunin sa Diyos ang kapangyarihan sa kapwa-tao. Ang Diyos lamang ang may kapangyarihan sa buhay natin. Kaya igalang natin ang ating kapwa sapagkat nasa kamay ng Diyos ang buhay ng bawat tao. Igalang din natin ang Diyos sapagkat siya ang may hawak sa buhay ng tao. Sa paggalang natin sa kapwa, igalang natin ang ating kapareho. Pareho naman tayo natural image, earthly, pero heavenly image. Makita natin sa Kanya the heavenly image like us. Ano po ang lumabas kay David? Ang nanaig po, naging nagtagumpay kay David ang heavenly. Siya yung parang it rose like a spirit ascending into his mind, filling his heart, at pinakita niya. Sino ang pinakita niya? The heavenly. Ang kanyang hindi lang pagiging tao, kundi ang kanyang pagiging makadiyos. Sa mga araw na darating, mga kapatid, huwag lang tayong mabuhay na bilang tao. At di lang kailangan maging makatao. Sana ang dahilan natin bakit tayo marunong makipagkapwa-tao sapagkat tayo anak ng Diyos. At sabi ng Diyos, kaya mo maging kawangis ko, maging katulad ko. Nako, ang sarap siguro ng buhay pamilya kung ang bawat isa sa atin kanyang isa sa buhay ang salita ng linggong ito. Wow! Wow! What a family and what kind of society we could create if this was the basis of our behavior. Pagdasal natin that the Spirit every single day will inspire us to do as David did, as Jesus has said.